We've got an update on Jeepers Creepers 5 as well as the direct sequel to Cloverfield 2008. Let's get into it.
Well, sometimes that is better.
Hey everybody, what's up? KillJoy Jake here, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. Today we're talking a little bit about Jeepers Creepers 5 as well as the direct sequel to Cloverfield 2008, just like the guy from the intro said. Now maybe you just don't really care about some of these stories, well no worries, there's nice little chapters on this video so you can kind of skip around to wherever you want to go. Hop around those chapters like you're a little bunny rabbit. Before we get into this, of course, if you guys can like this video and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate that. So talking about Cloverfield 2, now you might be scratching your head a little bit because you're like, wait a minute Jake, isn't there already a sequel to Cloverfield called 10 Cloverfield Lane, and then also Cloverfield Paradox, which you may have forgotten about by now because wow, that's a forgettable movie? Yes, and also there's this movie called Overlord that may or may not be connected to it. I don't know, this is not the video answering that question, but we finally are getting a direct sequel to Cloverfield 2008, specifically the one with the giant monster in New York City, not the one with John Goodman in a basement. Now that's no diss to 10 Cloverfield Lane, but it's not really a sequel to Cloverfield 2008. And Cloverfield Paradox from 2018 tries to connect the two films, but also I don't really care. I just want to see a continuation of the specific story from Cloverfield 2008, which is my personal favorite from all of the Cloverfield movies, even though Dan Trachtenberg did a fantastic job with that second Cloverfield film. Now, if you remember all the way back to 2020 when I first reported on this, they initially had said that it would be a direct sequel to Cloverfield 2008, but now there's not exactly any clear plot details except for that rumor we had all the way back in 2020. So it's not 100% confirmed that it will be a direct continuation to that film, but that was the first thing we heard about this project all that time ago. Now, the update we have on this film is we have found ourselves a writer and a director, which is really exciting news to kind of get a feel for what this movie could be like. British-Iranian filmmaker Baugh Anvari will be directing this film, and he's also known for the movie Under the Shadow. Under the Shadow currently has a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes, looks amazing from the trailer I saw, and honestly, I cannot believe I missed this film. It looks fucking awesome. Check out the trailer because it does not spoil anything about the film, and it's very intriguing. So if you're someone like me who's just hearing about this film now that kind of has an underwhelming title, the trailer makes up for that because it's very intriguing and you want to know more after watching it. So it's at the top of my watch list, and I'm gonna check it out as soon as I finish this Jeffrey Dahmer series on Netflix. Comment down below if you want to see a review of that, by the way. And we also have Joe Barton writing the script. You may not be familiar with him, but you might be familiar with the David Bruckner film that he co-wrote titled The Ritual. Now, both the writer and director have worked with Netflix before on those movies I was just talking about, and I'm pretty sure that they're going to do the same thing with Cloverfield Paradox, where they kind of just release it straight to the streaming service instead of having it go to theaters, which is a bit of a shame because I saw both Cloverfield and 10 Cloverfield Lane in the theaters, and they were both fantastic experiences that first time around. In all fairness though, I probably would have been disappointed if I saw Cloverfield Paradox in the theaters because that one sucks a handful of balls. I'm personally not even interested in another Cloverfield story that has nothing to do with the other films, like the two sequels as of right now, so I really hope that this is a sequel to actual Cloverfield 2008. There are so many questions I still have about that film to this day that need answered with a sequel, and I would love to see this thing come out sometime next year. Hopefully in glorious found footage as well, but that subgenre is kind of way on the down right now. What do you guys think about a true Cloverfield 2? Leave me something about it in the comments. Now let's get into the Jeepers Creepers talk. Jeepers Creepers Reborn has made a whole $2 million worldwide. So that's obviously not fantastic, and we've had all this talk up in the air if a Jeepers Creepers 5 is going to happen. So with this kind of reception, are they going to make another one? I don't know. The new Jeepers Creepers director Timo Varensola, though, is kind of confident about a fifth film possibly happening. He's made some very interesting comments that I cover in this video up here, but he's also made some more comments recently, according to Critical Overlord, who's doing a phenomenal job at covering this as well. Now, many people are confused about Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Whether you liked it or hated it, obviously the latter being the majority here, I can already tell that from the comments of some of my past videos, it is technically a continuation to those past three movies. I reported on this a while ago when the set pictures had come out of the post-puncher shooter gun thing from Jeepers Jeepers Creepers 2 was found on set and also in the background of this movie. It's in the background of the shot when the creeper is pulling himself out of that brick building that's supposed to be the Taggart barn. I still have so many questions about that scene in Jeepers Creepers Reborn. I mean, Jeepers Creepers 2 set up this like crazy fight that was going to happen between the eldest Taggart and the creeper, and we just never saw that on screen. And the other thing I have the question about is the first time we see the creeper in Jeepers Creepers Reborn, he's like emaciated. There's like no way he could have fought somebody unless he had the drop on them, like how he sort of does in Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Once again, just not a very well-made movie. Confirming that, director Timo Varensola says, the events of the first films took place in the world of JCR and became local legends that were made into 3 movies, through which they became part of the horror movie culture, and Chase is a creeper fanboy based on those movies. Once again, something I don't like about Jeepers Creepers Reborn is that they wrote in one of the main characters being this like fanboy, glorifying those past movies like they were this wonderful thing. I think the point of it was to separate themselves from those movies, like, oh yeah, those were just movies in our universe. I really like the idea of the Jeepers Creepers movies, but we need a more competent filmmaker attached to these movies and someone who isn't Victor Salva. I'm also not saying Victor Salva is a competent filmmaker, because I really wouldn't accredit a lot of the good things in those first 2 Jeepers Creepers movies to him, but that's just my crazy conspiracy theory. You guys don't have to listen to that. This new movie just did like all the wrong things to make itself a clean break and a new start in this franchise. It is not really a rebirth and continues things from the past that suck and then don't focus on the things that would have been cool. You know, like the opening scene of this movie being the fight between the eldest Taggart and the creeper, which would have been fucking dope, but the writers of this film were just like, nah, that would have sucked. We can't do that. We can't do that, but we can give you an entire sequence outside in front of a green screen instead. More than anything, I just hope that they give this franchise to a more competent filmmaker the next time around, especially better screenwriters. With all of that being said though, Screen Media still owns this IP, which basically means it's still going to go to some shitty director at some point. So unfortunately, it's looking like a snowball's chance in hell that we'll ever get a good Jeepers Creepers movie again, but I still got my fingers crossed, and maybe sometime in the future we'll get a good one. I don't think that's possible from this team though. What do you guys think about a Jeepers Creepers 5? Leave me something about it in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching this new update video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more horror content. If you want to support this page further, you can support me on Patreon or become a channel member by clicking that join button on my page. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.